what's happening, ladies and gents? I'm your guy, Arrington Gavin. Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, pop culture, sports, or the latest buzz. We're diving deep and keeping it real, so kick back, relax, and stay informed. And also join the conversation because it's going to be a great one today, folks. It's going to be a great one. We're going to be impacting a lot within this hour, man. I hope you all are doing well. Thanks again for taking the time out your busy schedule to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. Again, we come to you weeknights, available on all digital and streaming platforms, all podcast platform. Wherever you listen to your podcast, you can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show, as well as on the streaming platforms of YouTube and Rumble. Our YouTube channel is R Smooth Club Media, and our Rumble channel is the Arrington Gavin Show. So please be sure to check those out. Share, like, comment, good or bad, I don't care. Watch us, give us the views. I truly appreciate it. Also, one of our affiliates on the radio waves, on the radio airwaves, WDJY 99.1 FM, straight talk out of Dallas, Georgia. So we truly thank them and their partnership with them, and we very honored to be a part of the WDJY family. You can also listen online at WDJY 99.1 FM. And again, you can tune into the program on their station at weeknights at 11 p.m. Yes, very excited about that. Got a lot to unpack today. We're going to do day two, a recap of day two of the Democratic National Convention. We're also going to be talking about independent candidate Cornel West, former professor, activist, I guess, very knowledgeable, very popular individual, Cornel West, and, following up with his race to the White House, because he is still very much in this presidential race as well, even though he's one of the least favorable candidates, and has the least chance of winning, still in the race. So we give him the proper respect like any other candidate. Also, new documentary coming out to Netflix about the life of NFL great Steve McNair. For a lot of y'all that don't know who Steve McNair is, he is a former NFL star, played around 14 years in the NFL. He was a quarterback for the Houston Oilers, then turned Tennessee Titans. He led the Tennessee Titans to the Super Bowl. Eventually they lost by the St. Louis Rams. That was the year Kurt Warner won the Super Bowl. He also finished his career with the Baltimore Ravens. Star athlete, phenomenal guy, and phenomenal athlete. It was sad that post retirement from the NFL, he didn't live a long life. He was sadly, what they're saying, he was murdered. Again, I'm pretty sure the case was already finalized. It was a murder suicide. His then mistress took him out and then took her own life out. And it was extremely, extremely sad, man. And so they're making a documentary out of that on Netflix. Also, we're going to talk about Fox Sports 1. They're doing a lot of shakeups within their lineup of shows, really due to Skip Bayless leaving Undisputed after 7 years. The show that was really his show. He left, and now they're kind of changing it up. They're like hurting with ratings as well. So they're doing a lot of what do you call it? Swaps and changes within the network. Also added, this is more news about the DNC. A very famous conservative commentator disguises himself at the DNC. We'll talk more about that and more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Before we move forward, we always have to acknowledge one of our proud sponsors and supporters of the Arrington Gavin Show, like Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Rugged is a new smooth, an all-natural men's grooming line with 17 scented beard balms, oils, conditioning shampoos, you name it, they have it, all to enhance your facial hair, skin underneath the facial hair, and just all about proper beard maintenance, man. Look, I'm a man with a beard, facial hair. I've had it for so many years, and I could not survive with this beard without a great product and a great routine. And with the help of Rugged Evolution Beard Care, they make sure that I continue to live up and keep up that routine base. So again, for more information, for all you beard sporters, facial hair sporters out there, whether you have mustache, goatee, let's see, beards, you name it. Hey, look, our facial hair is the magnet to bacteria and grease. So you always have to make sure you take care of it. look, you need a great product like Rugged Evolution Beard Care. So for more information about them, check their website out, www.ruggedevo.com. Again, that's www.ruggedevo.com. All right, guys, we're gonna do a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll start off with our fun fact of the day, and then we'll get going in the show with our first story. So don't go anywhere, my friends. You are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. Don't change that dial.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
All right, my friends, welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. So look, let's start off with our first segment, that our regular segment that's starting to be a fan favorite. It's time for our fun fact of the day. So check this out. Did you know that someone left a family photo on the moon? Did you know? Did you know? Okay, well, let me explain why. It says here, when Apollo 16 astronaut Charles Duke landed on the moon in 1972, he decided to leave behind a photo of him, his two sons, and his wife. That photo remains on the moon till this day. So it has me thinking, is that why we continue to go? We still send people to the moon and to outer space? Like, I've always wondered, like, the life of an astronaut, like, why do y'all, like, what do y'all do? Like, what's the mission that we're always trying to accomplish? Are we just, is all this to try and find out about aliens? Because I'm starting to witness a lot of documentary series, and from different media outlets, they're doing their own rendition of like UFOs, this and that and the other. I'll be honest, do I believe in them? No. Could I be wrong about them? Absolutely yes. Do I care? Hell no. I don't. I never found it amusing, like, ooh, a life outside of Earth. Ooh, there's I don't know. I really do not know. Again, I'm a skeptic. I gotta see it to believe it. Not saying I want to see an alien, just because that would be really pretty scary, I guess. I mean, as a kid, you see the family friendly films about aliens. Oh, this is neat, this is nice, okay, this is cool. But then you see them horrifying movies like Alien versus Predator. I'm like, I don't know if I want to see that. I don't want to see all that. So excuse me. What did I want to talk about? What were we going to talk about the first day? Okay. Last show, we discussed day one, a recap of day one of the Democratic National Convention held in Chicago, Illinois. Kickoff was, I will say, it was pretty dope. It was much more lively, and I will always say, throughout my years of witnessing different conventions, the Democratic Party is always more of a big party, right? Good time, feel good music. All the celebrities are always involved. They bring out the red carpet. It's phenomenal. The Republican one is always just dry, just straight bland, like bland mayonnaise, nothing else, no other seasoning, mayonnaise, just straight bland. And so it, the kickoff was great. They had great speakers. As I mentioned before, the first one was pretty much a tribute to President Joe Biden, because that will be his last time really in public office after serving 50 years as a public servant. He is that was his, final bow, right? Recap of day 2 was even better. Why? Because probably the most popular 2 individuals in the world of politics happens to be a husband and wife. And that is former President Barack Obama and his lovely wife, the Queen, former First Lady Michelle Obama. They were the keynote speakers for day 2 at the DNC. And when I tell you they tore the house down, and I'll be honest, President Obama was the keynote speaker. He was the final person to speak. Michelle was right before him. Michelle had a much better speech than him. They both did great. I mean, but Michelle stole the show. She really did. She stole the show. The crowd went berserk when they first saw her out. And matter of fact, let me give you a couple of highlights of what the day 2 and just their speeches of what they had to say. Hold that thought real quick.
Who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs? Who's going to tell him?
I mean, that was one of the shots fired at former President Donald Trump. Before that, she had basically said, this man has been attacking my husband, myself, since he even thought of the idea of entering the politics. And she said that, and don't get me quoted, I'm not gonna say it thoroughly of exactly how First Lady said it, but she basically said, when you have 2 individuals that are educated, successful, smart, and then happen to be black, and that tore the house down right then and there, because that's what we've always thought about. Like, all of a sudden, Donald, why are you having this this frustration towards this individual all of a sudden? Again, Donald Trump was a long-time Democrat. He was he hasn't been a Republican for 10 years. Okay, not even 10 years. So why all of a sudden are you having a dislike for this individual? Didn't make any sense. It really did not make any sense. So she acknowledged that, and then she mentioned, you heard it right there. Who's going to be the person to tell him that the position that he's applying for might be one of them black jobs? Because again, they're going back on when the first debate at that time when Joe Biden was in the race, him and Donald Trump were going head to head, and Donald Trump acknowledged that, the immigrants, they're taking all the black jobs and Hispanic jobs, and everybody's like, well, what the hell is a black job? What is a black job? What is a black job? And so it's the inside joke now amongst the black community. They're like, oh, you got one of them black jobs. Oh, you got the one of black. I mean, like, it was the dumbest thing, obviously, but come on now, we are talking about former President Donald Trump. So hey, but it was quite a huge night. all the stars was out. This evening was hosted. So the first evening was celebrity host was Tony Golden. Again, he was the star on Scandal. He played the president. Night number 2 was Ana Navarro. She is the co-host, one of the co-hosts on The View. She's also a CNN contributor. Has been there for quite some time. She is a registered Republican. But she has always been, since the Trump era in the Republican Party, she has been on the opposing end, and she considers herself more of a centrist Republican, because if you did not ask at all what her party affiliation was, you would have known she was a Republican. But again, you have a lot of individuals like that, like Michael Steele. Michael Steele was the former Republican chair for the RNC. Okay, he's a former lieutenant governor. He is still a registered Republican, but he's also a longtime host and contributor on MSNBC, which is probably one of the most progressive mainstream media outlets. So it's again, it's you will never know, and it's very interesting. I want to also play for you guys what former President Barack Obama had to say. He also had a few highlights. Here's one of them right here.
Here's a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down his golden escalator 9 years ago. It has been a constant stream of gripes and grievances that's actually been getting worse now that he's afraid of losing the Commonwealth. There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories, this weird obsession with crowd sizes. It just goes on and on and on.
So I don't know, for those who are listening, obviously you didn't see the hand gesture he did. Now, if you actually watch the DNC, you probably know exactly what he did. But for those who are watching, you realize that former president did the hand gesture like what certain size was a little small, because talking about sizes, crowd sizes, right? It was, again, they were personal jabs and personal attacks to the candidate, the Republican nominee, Donald Trump. But here's the thing. I was hearing a lot of different outlets, especially the ones that are trying to, be more the bipartisan news outlets like News Nation. I'm a fan of News Nation. I watch a lot of their content. And I like it because, again, I like seeing stuff that is more independent minded, right? Calling shots on, on both sides, calling out on both sides, and not just being more committed to one party. Now, one thing about News Nation is what I can say that what they need to improve in is continue to be more balanced. I truly think that they have more Republicans on that network. Now, not saying that's a bad thing. Now, not saying they have far right Republicans. They have a lot of moderate Republicans. They have Sean Spicer is a contributor there. Nothing wrong with that, but Sean Spicer is a former spokesperson for the Trump administration. He is on one of the most far right news networks in oh gosh, what is it? The First, I believe it is. You have Bill O'Reilly that's up there. He's a regular on News Nation. Again, Bill O'Reilly's a registered independent, but he leans more right. You have you've had multiple conservative mind. One of the girls who hosts the morning shows, her sister works for the Trump administration. So again, you have a lot of individuals that are former Fox News anchors that are now with them. You have maybe one. I mean, really, Chris Cuomo's the only CNN guy that's on that network. Some people came from MSNBC. Somebody, a lot of people came that was spread out. But again, I like News Nation, but they could really, they need more voices. For one, they need a little more flavor. Okay, I will say they need a little more diversified group. I think Don Lemon is good where he's at now, being independent. I mean, with independent media, but I wouldn't mind, seeing a I don't know. Well, that's another story. I can't really think of a person at the moment, but anyway, they were just explaining how, is this the right strategy for voters? Is this the right move to do right now? I say yes, only because, and I get what they're saying. They're saying if you really speak on policy, speak on policies, you can't tell the other side that he needs to quit the insults and speak on policies if you're going to basically do the same thing. Here's the thing. You only have but a few times to insult a person. And then if they have to respond, because it's a sign of, look, I'm willing to fight if you want to go there. Don't consider me weak because you keep on being a bully and stuff like that. That whole sticks and stones may break my bones, with words and hurt, which it doesn't. It doesn't hurt these candidates, but again, it hurts the bully, right? It hurts the bully. So they were coming after with these insults and this and that, and a lot of the videos that they've played, a lot of the other speakers that they've had, has really impacted and spoken on policy. Even though if the individual hasn't really talked about policy, you have families that are saying, look, without we've had hard issues of trying to have kids, or gun violence, or you name it. I mean, immigration. Like, they speak on the key issues within the what a lot of voters are going to be voting for on the ballot box, right? What's at stake in these elections. So again, this, in my opinion, was a great successful night. You haven't really seen or heard from the Obamas in a long time. They were in Chicago, Barack's hometown. They're the Obama's hometown, because he served as a senator there before he was president. So it was a very, very, very huge night, very impactful night. And again, I'm just thrilled and excited of I'm excited with these elections. I really am. I think we can possibly witness history being met as far as the first female president. In my lifetime, I've witnessed the first African American president. I could possibly witness the first female president and female president of color as well. So it can a lot can happen. A lot could happen within this election cycle. But here's a couple of weird things though. Well, I'll say one weird thing. There was a individual that was caught in a disguise, and like, wait a minute, we know who that guy is. So this is how, and this to me is, again, I use this as the opposing side is scared. Republicans are starting to crap their pants after seeing how the DNC viewership numbers have been more than the RNC. The stadiums have been massive. You hear me? Massive, because I think they call it a roll call on day 2 as well. And the roll call is when they fully announce the nominee. Excuse me. When they vote on, when each states have their delegates, and they vote on, hey, look, with all such and such delegates, we elect Kamala Harris as our 47th, and each state does it, and it's funny, and I can't play it for you now just because of copyright reasons, but there were memes, and of course social media stays winning. They're like, okay, look at the roll call at the RNC and then look at the roll call at the DNC. The roll call at the RNC was like, do you elect this such and such? And it was just quiet, dry, no music, no elevated music, keep them jamming. Oh, DNC had DJ Cassidy. Okay. Each state had their own signature sound, right? California obviously had played Tupac and Kendrick. When it was time for Georgia to come up, Little John came, made a guest appearance. He's like, DNC, yeah, turn down for what? And I mean, he got the crowd going. You had Wendell Pierce, famous actor, representing Louisiana. Let's see. I saw Anthony Hamilton representing North Carolina. He didn't speak, but he was in the back. So everybody had a different theme, and it was just it was a big party, big historic party. Now, the interesting thing is the DNC sold out, right? Where the Chicago Bulls play at. Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Waltz, they were in, I believe it was Wisconsin, sold that stadium out. They sold out 2 arenas in the same night. Okay, that's unheard of. But it was a reason why they had to leave, because again, they don't have enough time. They're trying to go to all these states to gather these votes within a short time frame. So I say all that to say, with everything happening, with all the momentum, I've already mentioned before that Kamala Harris is starting to gain in the numbers, not by a lot, but by a little. Popular vote is obviously hers, but again, you still have the Electoral College, so that's why it's so important people to vote. You have to vote, do your own research and vote. But you're still probably wondering, like, Arrington, where are you going with this? People on the right are intimidated. Why? Because now you're seeing all these far right individuals sneaking in the DNC, or even just making an appearance at the DNC. Now, you still have your conservative media outlets that attend. Fox News had a huge setup there. Radio Row, you still had your conservative talk stations there. I know, shout out to conservative political commentator Armstrong Williams. Big fan of his work. He's one of the Republicans, conservative, that you can easily have a beer and have a conversation with without the whole yelling back and forth thing. So he was in attendance. A lot of people were out there. But here was the interesting thing. So a man by the name of Matt Walsh. A lot of y'all probably don't know who he is, especially for those who are really not into the whatchamacallit, the media, the media space, right? Matt Walsh is a conservative commentator with the Daily Wire. For those who have ever heard of a man by the name of Ben Shapiro, very famous conservative commentator, very high, very, very educated, and he talks like just a wizard as well too. He's one of the founders of the Daily Wire. But Matt Walsh, he's an American right-wing political activist, author, podcaster, and columnist. He is the host of the Matt Walsh Show podcast and is a columnist for the American conservative website, The Daily Wire. He also has authored 4 books and started in the Daily Wire online documentary film, What is a Woman? He's a guy that tries to be funny, but he's not. I mean, not even a little. That's one thing I can't stand, when politicians, political commentators, when they try so hard to be comedians. It just makes me want to vomit, because I'm like, you're not funny, dude. You're not funny. Stop it. And that's on both sides, because look, you got liberals and you got conservative that do it, and it's just like, just give it up. But that's Matt Walsh right there. So Matt Walsh is really a guy with a beard, short hairstyle. He shows up in disguise with a Kamala Harris shirt, hat on, I think that says white dudes for Harris and has a weird ponytail, and he sneaks in and is at the DNC. And again, it's weird. And look, people, especially the progressives and the very far left leaning individuals and influencers, they don't play. They do not play. And they acknowledge, hey, look, if you see this person here, this is such in disguise, call him out, blase, blase, blase. So excuse me. It says here, I'm reporting this by the Daily Mail. It says Matt Walsh enrages Democrats by crashing DNC in disguise. It says a conservative commentator, as I mentioned before, Matt Walsh raised eyebrows at the Democratic National Convention after crashing the event in a white dudes for Kamala Harris disguise. Walsh sparked backlash from Democrats after he was spotted mocking them with a ponytail wig and Kamala Harris for president hat as he wandered around the United Center, in Chicago. Says here, in one scene shared widely across social media, Walsh ambled into the background of Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Was interviewed by CNN's Caitlin Collins. It says here also after Walsh was seen being escorted out as he attempted to gate crash the interview, liberal viewers shared their outrage as Walsh mocking their convention. One commented, "Why is Walsh walking around in a DNC disguise? Straight up weirdo behavior." Now, I will say it is pretty weird. One thing, as an independent, I'm fortunate to, I don't commit to any side of the aisle. I attend all political functions for candidates, you name it. I have friends that run for office on one side of the aisle. I have friends that run on this side of the aisle, and I'm there to support. I'm there to support. And so I've been all, I don't need to wear a disguise or anything like that. And that's why I'm saying these Republicans, these conservative men, y'all need to stop making obvious that you fear this person. Like, why are you there? Now, don't get me wrong, everybody has the right to attend a function, especially hear candidates speak, especially if, regardless of what political party. Because look, there was Republicans that were there that was for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Okay. Likewise for the RNC, it was probably Democrats that was in attendance there that were in support of Donald Trump. It's perfectly fine. But here's the thing. People are not stupid. People know when you're literally there being petty, causing issues there, trying to get people off their game. Look, it was a time for them to kick back, relax, enjoy the moment, also be serious, but it was a celebration. The DNC was really a big celebration. When you have individuals like this to disguise themselves, I will talk a little more, I believe, on the next show about the My Pillow guy. He disguised himself there. Okay, he disguised, why I don't know, but he disguised himself there, and it was just weird stuff. As I continue to read, says here, Walsh looked to appears he looked up. Undercover look appears to be a part of his upcoming political satire film, Am I a Racist?, where the pundit antagonizes on an anti-racism workshop in one scene. It sounds like this guy's trying to be like the Borat guy. Y'all remember that show, that movie Borat? I think I watched like bits and pieces of the movie. It was kind of just, it was weird. I really didn't. It wasn't my kind of humor. But I believe the gentleman that played him, Sacha Baron Cohen, I think that's his name. That's kind of a large name. I don't know if I'm getting it right or getting it wrong, but that's exactly what it sounds like to me. Is he's trying to kind of go into that field, go into the body of a Borat. Okay, I want to be like Borat. Let me go ahead and barge in here. It'll be funny. It'll be the laughing stock. And so he talks about it probably on his next show. He doesn't have a lot to do with his life. Basically, he doesn't have a lot to do with his life. So after being recognized from his previous film, Walsh decided to adopt the same look as someone he interviewed in the flick for his upcoming movie. Let's see here. Any other new stuff? Again, it shows him being caught, and then he he got a pair on just to, you know, just to go in there, especially for how his views are. Again, if George Bush was there, he would not get that kind of hate towards other individuals. This guy, look, the Daily Wire, outlets like Newsmax, there's I'm trying to think of some more. So many other names. We're not going to give them the benefit of the doubt, but those are what you consider far right leaning media outlets. And look, you got some far left leaning media outlets too. So I don't want conservative people to be like, all right, you talked way too much about conservative. Look, I talk about both sides because both sides need help. Okay, they need help, but I just think that's weird. I do. I think that's quite interesting. Like, why are you sneaking, dude? Why? Like, why? It doesn't make any sense. But hey, you're showing your true colors there, champ. Let's see. What we're gonna do. We're gonna do a quick commercial break. We'll come back more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. I hope you're enjoying yourself and enjoying the conversation. So stay informed, and we'll be right back.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
Welcome back, my friends. Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. I am your guy, Arrington Gavin. Look, so check this out. Next story I've mentioned before early in the show. Cornel West, independent presidential candidate Cornel West, Professor Cornel West. Huge fan of Cornel, not gonna lie. He's a very educated individual. He speaks a lot of stuff that I agree with. But when I when I heard he was running, I was like, I'm not totally against this. He is in his early 70s. I've kind of been vocal. You can call it ages. I'm not calling it ages. I'm just saying that there is a lot of younger, thriving candidates that is well aware and could be well qualified for the position. So I just figured, hey, you need to continue to build them up and get them ready and prepared for to move forward in leadership. But again, going back to this story, Cornel West recently, it says here, gets boosted by the Republicans. Let me read a little more. This is reported by the Associated Press. It was reported that several Republican-connected lawyers sought to recover an effort to get Cornel West on the 2024 presidential election ballot in Arizona. As the deadline to submit paperwork approached, two prominent Republican lawyers in the state and GOP attorney working on West's ballot efforts to learn that two would be electors Jerry Judy and Denisha Mitchell were no longer interested in serving. So it says here that this prompted a flurry of text messages and phone calls to salvage the effort. When that failed, two Republican lawyers visited the two names that I mentioned homes, seemingly to persuade them to reconsider. The AP wrote. Now, also, the Arizona Secretary of State's office said that West missed the deadline to file paperwork in order to appear on the state's ballot in the 2024 election. Look, let me tell you something. I don't know what's the goal for Dr. West. I don't know what's his his reason for running. He's spoken about it for years. I mean, that's how he became well known. So I can't really say, like, is that really your full stance of why you're running for office? Because again, what's your chances, dude? Like, what's your chances? What's your chances? Very educated, again, very educated individual. I think he would have done great on a debate stage with the candidates. And that's the sad part. Like, a lot of third-party candidates really doesn't get the proper access, especially on larger media outlet and just interview time, airtime. They don't get a lot of airtime as they should of the two main candidates that we've in Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. But it says here the effort of Republicans to help West get on the ballot in Arizona for the 2024 presidential election relates to a possible plan to submerge. Oh, and I'm not going to continue to read this because this is exactly why the Republicans are doing this. So after I'm reading all this, you're probably wondering, wait a minute, isn't Cornel West running as independent? Yes. Isn't Cornel West more of a left-leaning independent by, between two? Absolutely. In my opinion, he is. So why the hell are Republicans building up efforts to get him on the ballots out in Arizona? Because Arizona is a very big state for as far as it's a key state to try and win within this election. And on top of that, too, Republicans are trying to do all they can to pull votes away from the Democratic nominee, and that's Kamala Harris. And I've read I was reading an article, and it was explaining that candidates like Jill Stein, who's representing the Green Party, and then Dr. Cornel West, they pull votes from the left. When you have RFK Jr., he's pulling votes from the right. That's why all of a sudden he's thinking about dropping the race and then possibly endorsing Donald Trump. Think about that. So that's the whole reason why these Republicans are trying to help out Cornel West. It's not a fact that, oh yeah, we believe in you, Cornel, we trust you, you have a great race. No, dude, they make you like a fool. Please do not accept the bait, Dr. West. You're way too educated and too smart for that. You already know what they're trying to do. They're trying to they're gonna help you out, pull votes from the left, and then you're gonna have Donald Trump at office, and then you really start regretting yourself. Because I know Dr. West is no Trump fan by any means. I know that for sure. But so we'll see how that goes. But that's just the ways in politics. Like, I mean, so many people, they're doing all they can to pull votes away from their opponents. Moving on. Next story, as I mentioned about a little bit about Steve McNair. Steve McNair was a 13-year NFL star, 13 great years as former NFL MVP as well. He carried a team to the Super Bowl, as I mentioned before, and then sadly had passed in 2009. Okay, so this right here is reported by The Independent, and says here, police believe NFL player Air McNair, that was a nickname, Air McNair, was murdered by his girlfriend in a new show questions the narrative. So it says here, man was born in Mississippi. Okay. He rose to the top of football ranks of Alcorn State University, where he broke national records in passing and offensive yards and was named an All-American. Then it was off to the NFL, where he played for the Houston Oilers, racked up consecutive wins with the Tennessee Titans. Then as a QB made it to Super Bowl in 99. He retired in 07, okay, 07, and he had been named NFL MVP and had 3 Pro Bowls. And it's sad to say, y'all, retired in 07 and then loses his life 2 years after that. It says here July 4th of 09, when McNair's friend, when a friend of McNair's made a panic phone call to the police, said 2 bodies had been found dead in a condominium in Nashville. One of them happened to be McNair, lying face down. Not gonna read too much because it's very graphic to say, but and then the other person was a mysterious woman who happened to be his mistress. And they later said it was potentially a murder-suicide. So now the dramatic case is revised in The Untold, a new Netflix sports documentary series that spoke to investigators and friends of the falling quarterback to uncover what really happened. Now, police would eventually conclude that the 20-year-old, I'm not going to say her name, but the 20-year-old was responsible for both deaths in the murder-suicide case, but a private investigator criticized the National Police Department investigation and believes the case isn't so open and shut. So definitely be on the lookout for that documentary, because again, this was a story that really shook up a lot of individuals, because again, the guy just retired, phenomenal athlete. He never ever to my knowledge had any trouble with the law outside the NFL, and it's not trying to take a shot at the NFL, but for me, it's too often that I hear stories of current players getting in trouble outside the arena, off the field. They get in trouble too much, whether it's DUI, assault charges, just doing stupid stuff, speeding, just you name it. It's always something happening. I'm just like, y'all gotta cut it out, man. Y'all have to cut it out, because you got other people, looking at y'all for as mentors and things. So McNair was one of those individuals, somebody you can easily consider a mentor, and just somebody you just have utmost respect for. On this next story I want to bring up, guys, staying in the realm of sports. So Fox Sports 1, I would say, is one of the alternatives to ESPN. If you don't feel like watching ESPN, hey, look, you got Fox Sports 1. Fox Sports 1, you have shows like Speak, shows like, at the time, Undisputed, Colin Cowherd's show, multiple great programs on there. I tune into FS1 from time to time. Recently, excuse me, it was announced that Skip Bayless was going to be leaving Undisputed, a show that he was a part of. He really founded that show, and that was his baby. That was his new first take, but in a new home, new coast. And ever since his original co-host Shannon Sharp left, Skip has been struggling ratings wise, struggling to try and make it make sense and find the placement for the show. He then went on to bring on not one, not two, but 3 individuals. He brought in Keyshawn Johnson, who had recently got fired from ESPN. They brought in Michael Irvin, another football Hall of Famer, and then he brought in Richard Sherman as well. That really didn't last too long. He then went on to bring Paul Pierce. Ratings again was just struggling. Okay, ratings was just struggling. Skip is a person that can't really. He had a podcast. I don't know if he still is doing it right now, but he rarely can hold a show by himself. And there's no disrespect to Skip. There's no disrespect to Skip, but it's just you see him struggling. You can see him. He always needs somebody to counter what he is saying. So yeah, ever since he left, FS1 has been struggling with ratings, and they're like trying to figure out, okay, what we're gonna do here, what we're gonna do here. So look, they're doing a new shakeup, new lineup after Skip Bayless's exit. So starting with 3 new shows, you got a new morning show called Breakfast Ball that will feature former WFAN host Craig Carton, originally host of the Craig Carton Show, which was an early morning show that was there. So that was pretty short lived. You also have Mark Skirlereef, I believe that is, or Schlurreef, and then also Danny Parkins. They're going to cover, their show will be from 8 to 10 a.m. And then you also have, let's see here, from the 10 to noon time slot, which was originally occupied by Undisputed, FS1 will air a new show called The Facility. The Facility will have former NFL stars Emmanuel Acho, LaShawn McCoy, Chase Daniels, and James Jones. I actually recently saw a promo video promoting that show, and it shows, they give the stats, say 39 years of NFL experience, 4 Super Bowls, I think 18 or 12 coaches, 18 teams, this and the other. Let's see how that goes. Not going to have a moderator. It's just going to be straight coming from the athletes. I think it'll be quite interesting. The Herd will still stay in his original time slot from 3 to 5. Speak, the show Speak, what it used to be called Speak Yourself, but then they shortened it to Speak. That will it will keep the show in its rightful spot, but it will bring on 2 new hosts. So moderator, and I'll say the main host, Joy Taylor, she will stay in her original position there, but being that Emmanuel Acho, LaShawn McCoy, and James Jones, guys who were regulars on the show Speak, they're now doing their own thing. So the replacements for those guys will be Keyshawn Johnson and Paul Pierce. I'm a fan of Joy Taylor. I don't know if this would be a good look. As far as ratings wise, I mean, obviously Paul Pierce is a legend, so people are gonna watch. Oh, I want to get Paul Pierce mindset, and Paul Pierce has always been wild on social media, so God knows what he would say if you give him more TV time. But I'm trying to see it make sense with Keyshawn and Paul Pierce. Like, Keyshawn has been a commentator for a long time, but he's never a guy that I've been like, oh, yeah, I'm a watch just the Keyshawn Johnson show. Then you bring on Paul. I'm like, does the camaraderie, is it gonna make sense? We really don't know. They both were previously on, as I mentioned before, Undisputed, so they're already familiar amongst each other. So the adjustment would just be, with Joy Taylor. We will see. But again, it kind of gives you a stats. This was reported by the New York Post, by the way. Kind of gives you another brief background or history with Bayless. So Bayless joined FS1 in 2016 and co-hosted Undisputed with Shannon Sharp until last summer, and then they spent a year working with an ensemble of rotating co-hosts when the show transitioned from one-on-one debate to a panel format. Again, one-on-one debate is not bad. I enjoy it. I think I was talking to a friend of mine recently. I think is it what is more popular now? Is panel more popular than just one-on-one debating? I think so, because the view is still out there, right? Speak had multiple voices. A lot of podcasts might have more than what the Joe Budden show or Joe Budden podcast. Multiple people. A lot of formats now have at least 3 to 4 and not just one-on-one. People are leaning more towards that format with shows and content and things like that. I hope that it works out for FS1. I just, again, I've enjoyed. I'm more of a Colin Cowherd fan. I always like his take on sports and all that good stuff. Yeah, they're doing a shakeup, so we will follow up and continue to check more on that as well. Let's see here. We're gonna do a quick commercial break. We'll come back more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Don't go anywhere. And do not, and I repeat, do not change that dial.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
All right, my friends, welcome back. Welcome back. Well, look, I hope you enjoyed the conversation here on the program. And once again, please be sure to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show, available on all digital and streaming platforms. You can tune in weeknights wherever you get your podcast, wherever you check out your content, especially on YouTube and Rumble, as well as you can tune into the show at weeknights at 11 p.m. on WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk out of Dallas, Georgia, as well as WDJYFM.com. I truly appreciate it, my friends. Y'all take care. Again, shout out to some of our, before we end it off, to one of our proud supporters of the Arrington Gavin Show, Ingenious Gin. Ingenious Gin is a rose gold veteran-owned, black-owned gin. Again, a unique spin on the original gin I mentioned before, rose gold complexion, when the average is more clear. Or is it not more clear? It is clear, but this one is more unique. It has a rose gold complexion. It's amazing. It's delicious. You can have it neat on the rocks, in the cocktail, you name it. I'm telling you, it is so sharp. So for all you gin connoisseurs out there, I highly recommend Ingenious Gin to add it to your collection and try it out. You can check them out at any of your local spirit stores or ABC stores, depending on what state you're in. If you're watching this right now, I have a discount code provided on the screen below. But for those who are listening, hey, look, you're just gonna have to watch. You just gonna have to watch the clip, and I have the code right there where you can receive 20% off your purchase if you go online at www.ingeniousgin.com. Again, that's www.ingeniousgin.com. Do me a favor, drink responsibly. All right, y'all. Well, look, that is my time. We will see you next time again here on the Arrington Gavin Show. So yeah, y'all be easy, stay blessed, stay safe out there, and we will have another great conversation very soon, my friends. So yeah, that's all I got for you. Get out of here. I'm out. I'm out. It's late. Go. Bye. I'm out.